Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here as always with James Rossman. James, how are we doing?
Pretty good, Mike.
Good. All right. So we had some real fun doing our Creature Commando videos when that show was out, and we did them in like blocks of 2 or something like that. Which I really like that format because it gives us a chance to like barrel down into specific episodes. And we meant to do that with Daredevil, and we actually filmed.
We did
the first one, and then I don't know. It didn't. I don't know. It was a corrupt. I don't know what it was. It just didn't go, and it didn't happen. So, and then we got busy, and we've just gotten back together, and now Daredevil's over. So we're just gonna do one big video talking about the series as a whole. We're gonna talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and I guess the big thing before we start is, did you overall like the series?
Overall, yeah, I really did like it.
Okay, yeah, me too. I did like it. And we'll talk more about that, but that's good. We get off to a good start there. So,
I feel like with this this series, there's not a whole lot of like Matt Murdock in the suit. I mean, we definitely do get that, but I feel like it's a lot more about the lawyer side of.
I felt like when they did give us Daredevil, I like the idea of giving us brief, heavy action doses of Daredevil, and I think they did a good job of pacing it in this one. I felt maybe there was, and I have a hard time remembering the early Daredevil stuff because I did not go back and watch it. Yeah, but I kind of remember it being more either front-loaded or back-loaded, where you'd have a bunch of action like the first and second episode, but then the next 4 episodes would be nothing, and then so it felt like. It's like, hey, we haven't seen Daredevil in a while. Where I felt like this one was, every 2 or 3 episodes, you got a really good Daredevil fight scene or whatever to kind of get you that itch scratched, and then we could go back to doing more of the talk and stuff like that. So
it definitely made us wait for it, but it was so worth it.
I thought Charlie Cox does a great job playing Matt Murdock, and then Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh yeah,
it does an awesome job playing the Kingpin. I thought most of the actors all did.
I think
really well. We'll go into some other stuff a little bit. So, all right. So let's just kind of break this down into. So, what was your favorite stuff of the show? Like, what were your favorite, like either moments or arcs or whatever?
I thought it was really. I mean, and this doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with Matt Murdock, but the whole thing of Vanessa, kind of taking over, like what Kingpin was doing, that side of the business, because he was going, he gets elected as mayor, and that was a very interesting take on it, because it was flourishing. And so we got to kind of see what that was like without, Kingpin leading that side of his life. And he was basically kind of like, at first he's like, I kind of don't want anything to do with it. But then as the series goes on, you see he's like, oh, he still has a role in this.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character arcs that Vanessa started as more. It seemed like she was very not happy that Kingpin was back. That she thought that she deserved more of a credit for doing what she did with the organization and stuff. And the second he came back, it was like, oh, we don't have to listen to you anymore now. Now, even though Kingpin was saying, well, I'm don't even want anything to do with this. I'm going to be doing my own thing over here. But then slowly they come together, and you find out that, of course. Oh, by the way, spoilers, I guess. I'm sorry. We said we were going to stop. I guess you said we were going to talk about this whole thing. So if you haven't watched the whole thing, maybe not watch this. So spoilers are coming. We're not going to beat around the bush. So apologies there. Turn it off. Watch the whole thing. Come back. All right. We're back. Okay. So, but I like the fact that you find out that actually Kingpin was doing all this to circle back and make sure the business is not only New York business, but I actually like global. He's going global with his organized crime, I guess.
And this whole thing of like, I'm like, dude, you're just the mayor. You're not the governor. You're like,
it does. Right. It does. It does seem like they're giving the mayor of New York a lot more power than he probably has. But but again, it's one of those. It's comic books.
Exactly.
It's one of those things, and who knows? I don't know what the mayor of New York can do and
True.
can't do. So it's one of the biggest cities on the planet. So I mean, they do have powerful resources. So I think my favorite thing was probably the Muse arc. I felt he was suitably creepy. The costume really played well from the comic book version to the TV version. I kind of wish they had. I don't know. I guess he was there enough at kind of the beginning. He kind of dominated the middle couple of episodes. He wasn't kind of there, and then he was, and then it was done. But I guess that's the way a show goes. But the point where they were really focused in on him, I kind of liked. He was suitably a creepy character. I thought that his fight scene with Daredevil was great in his headquarters and stuff. So that was probably my favorite of the whole thing. Yeah. That's where it really resonated for me. The show overall, like that felt like more like a comic book. That arc felt more like the comic book, I guess. So, So yeah.
Yeah, I think something also I really liked was the White Tiger. That's what.
I like the trial. Yeah, I like the trial and a lot and interesting. I mean, I wasn't expecting the ending for that character.
Same here.
Yeah. And the only problem is, unless again, and I think when we did the first episode, we were talking about this. I haven't watched the whole Echo series, so I don't know if we've missed White Tiger as a character being in more stuff. But it was kind of hard to relate to it when you don't really see the White Tiger do anything. Like there's a couple of video clips of him being a superhero, but I'm not really tied to the character.
Yeah, and the time that we do see him as in the costume and he's about to, go do something, that's when his character ends.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I like the trial. I mean, I like that we got a good trial. Yeah, that was our lawyering, our heavy lawyering episodes there in the front. So it kind of had three different arcs. You had the lawyering in the front, the serial killer superhero thing in the middle, and then you had the kingpin organized crime takeover kind of thing at the end part. So all right, so that's our good. So I guess what is your let's go not so good. Like, what did you have a problem with? Anything, a certain character or maybe a storyline or something that didn't resonate with you?
I think I'm kind of with you when you were talking about Heather, like her character.
Okay.
Like, I don't think, I don't know. Ever since they got together, I was just kind of like, I wasn't feeling it. And then, was it episode 8 is when we kind of really see her?
They're definitely on the outs right before the ball, which I think is episode 8. Like, they're definitely on the outs. Like I forget exactly what happens, but he says something to her and she's not reacting well to it. So they're doing it, which, again, the problem I always have with Daredevil is I've read him enough in the comics. He never commits to anyone. Like, if you read the comics, he slept around with everyone. He's the Elektra, Black Widow, you name it. He's been dating them or sleeping around with them. He's not a commitment guy. So, I'm like going into it. I'm like, oh, this is going to last,
Right,
I thought it would be because she'd be killed or something, so.
And this too, we get where, Heather's obviously, she's a psychiatrist and she is Kingpin and Vanessa's.
Yes. I think that was what the thing was. Matt Murdock was trying to tell her that Fisk doing it specifically because of him. And she's like, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm just a good psychiatrist kind of thing, which is fair. Yeah. Because I don't know that it ever spells out that they really did do it because of Matt Murdock.
I don't think there was,
it could have been, but I don't know if it spells out one way or another, so. But I felt like, her character was and her turn at the end, I don't know, man.
Where she's
now the director of mental health for New York City. But just the fact that she's siding with Kingpin, seems a little bit more like she's just mad at Matt Murdock for saying Karen when he wakes up, in the hospital bed there in episode 8 or 9 or when at 9, I guess it would be.
Yeah, and we know like from kind of the get go, she's not a vigilante fan.
Oh no, no, not at all. Yeah, obviously because it was ridiculous, that whole thing with Muse. Like she was literally going to be killed. Yeah, and then I know that she ends up having agency by shooting him during that fight, but she would not have had that opportunity had Daredevil not come in and started a ruckus. I mean, she was not basically knocked out and done that. So, yeah. So, for me, I have a problem with the Bullseye character.
Okay, all right.
So, again, I don't know if by the end they're trying to make him sympathetic or something. I don't know. It seemed like, I don't know. He went on the rampage at the beginning, and of course we find out that wasn't just some sort of revenge thing. He was actually hired by Vanessa, which was a cool little twist and stuff. But then, and I guess this is my problem with this whole. I guess it's not just him as a character, but the surrounding thing that happens in the story to get him back in the story. Like he was out of the story because he was sentenced to. That was all pretty powerful, that whole beginning and stuff, and that's fine. He's a villain, and whether he was paid to do it or just did it on his own was kind of immaterial, really. Yeah. But so fine. So you find out that he was actually paid. Okay, that's a big reveal, and it goes on to reveal more of what's going on. But when Matt talks to him in the prison, and maybe this is my problem with the Daredevil character going to the end. He obviously, Bullseye basically tells him, you got to get me out, and then I'll tell you what's going on. Yeah. And Matt gets all mad about it or whatever, but purposely hits him, his head in the table, because he knows that they'll take him to the infirmary, and that will give him a chance to escape. Yeah. So he's basically helping the guy escape so he can get the information. Okay, fine. Except for the fact that Bullseye kills 2 people.
Yep, exactly.
So, I mean, you can rationalize maybe that the prison guard, because they talked about some of the prison guards being on Kingpin's payroll because they were supposed to kill him. They were supposed to kill Bullseye. That's one of the reasons they sent him to Gen Pop, was for him to die, so that it couldn't be traced back to them. Okay, fine, I can do it. But that doctor, I don't know that he was a bad guy. He may have had 2 kids at home. I don't know.
Super innocent.
So Matt is clearly, being a lawyer, guilty of, at least negligible homicide, manslaughter, I don't know, an accessory after the fact, whatever you want to do it. And that just rubs me the wrong way, especially then you get to the big fight scene with the Punisher in the apartment, right?
Yes, yeah.
And Punisher's just about to shoot. You find out that Detective Cole is the one that killed White Tiger. He's the one that pulled the trigger. Yeah. So we find that out, and he's definitely pinned down. Murdock could kill him if he wants to. He has his old mental thing, and and so he doesn't. And then Punisher's going to do it because he didn't care.
Yeah, he
steps in front of Punisher, and Punisher's like, "What? You going to step in front of this bullet too? Like, what? Let me kill him." He's like, "That's not." He says something like, "That's not what we do," or I'm not comfortable. I don't know, but it just sounds so hollow when he let that other right, and then the.
You can't have it both ways here,
right? Well, and then the other thing, he's obviously, and again, maybe this is also a Matt Murdock thing, but he's obviously also okay because he knew when Bullseye would get out, he'd probably come to take revenge, and he seemed okay with him killing Vanessa. Because she was the one who signed off on Foggy getting killed. Yeah. But as soon as he targets Kingpin, Daredevil's going to step in front of the bullet for no apparent reason. Yeah, so I don't know, man. There's just something about that rubbed me. That whole...
not only that, but in that fight sequence where Daredevil and Punisher were, I think they were in Matt's apartment.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so you hear at one point where Matt's like, no, like, to not shoot and to kill.
Right.
But, I mean, that was at the very beginning of the fight, I think it was. And then, I mean, Punisher's just blasting away and you don't hear
No. There's and I can't say for sure that Daredevil his aggressive fighting style, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those guys are dead anyway.
Oh,
I mean, like, I don't,
exactly.
so you take a baton to the temple and it knocks you against the wall and there's blood from the thing in your head. Well, that's a major head wound. You're not walking out of that.
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. It's always the kind of like the Batman doesn't kill, but he cripples.
Yeah.
So Daredevil's definitely on the crippling scale, I guess, at best.
Which could really just be that
which could be worse, right? Exactly. So I had a problem with the way that they got Bullseye back in because I think it makes Matt's character a little bit more of a hypocrite. In terms of his actions there and stuff like that. So what did you think about the action in general?
I honestly, especially with Daredevil, I really liked it. I think it was really well done. I don't think I had any issues with the action scenes at all.
Okay, this is hard for me to say. So, because I'm an action junkie, so I watch a lot of action movies, and so I'm not technically knowledgeable about the way fight scenes are staged and everything like that. So I can't say anything. But I've watched enough movies to understand good filmmaking of action scenes and bad filmmaking of action scenes, right? So, in my scale, Bourne movies, bad action scenes. John Wick, good action scenes. Yeah. And usually it comes down to editing and then the way the camera is blocking a scene. And so I'm not sure whether it's my old eyes or whatever. Like, I love the action scenes, but I was very frustrated on all of them that there was something about the way they filmed it where the camera would cut away just at the moment that something that they had to hide, either because they're using that baton, which is, I gotta believe, like a special effect or something, or something else. But it seemed like the camera would like, okay, here it is, cool thing. Whoop, we're gonna jump over here, then we're gonna jump over there. And so it gave it this weird whiplash effect that I could never follow it fully. I was always like, oh my god, this is so cool. Look at the birds. Oh wait, no, what that. My brain didn't finish seeing that cool thing that I wanted to see. And so there's something where I feel like I actually have to go back and watch the fight scenes like 2 or 3 times just to kind of get all the. They're really awesome, and I feel unsatisfied that I couldn't absorb the awesomeness. I guess where I'm coming at, So they were incredibly staged and stuff. I think from a stuntman perspective and just and most of the like I said, most of the in-camera work, but there was just and the lighting was always frustratingly subdued enough so that they could hide some of that special effects stuff, right? So they can't be in like daylight, bright light kind of thing. So again, it comes down to like doing a John Wick scene where it's clearly fully in camera. They hold on the shots. They're doing all the stuff. And then it moves on to the next part of the fight scene where this one's just, like I said, it kind of jumps around a little bit to kind of hide camera edits and other things like that. I mean, so yeah, it was good though. I can't deny that it wasn't good and inventive and stuff like that. And when they go full on, I mean, it's, they don't mind.
Well, yeah, and, kind of going off of that, the whole, was it episode 8? When Punisher just walks into where Kingpin's task force is.
No, that's 9.
That's 9. That's
9. It all happens in 9. Yeah. All the fighting is in 9. So
and he just walks in and he's just like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
that's another. And again, let's get down to contrivance. Like I said, like towards the end, it's like I love the plot, but there's contrivances in this thing. So like for whatever reason, they wanted the Punisher to be captured, I guess. So he walks in. Yeah, there's like 20 guys there waiting for him. Which again, I'm not even sure how they knew he was coming. I don't either. Okay. Yeah. There seemed to be like a line of dialogue, like we were waiting for you or something like. Whoa.
Well, yeah, because I know they had talked about, or one of them had said, or I think it may have been Cole possibly, where he was like, "Oh yeah, we admire you," basically. Or no, that's when he got. No,
captured. That's after he'd been captured. Yeah,
that's right.
So yeah, no, I think that was just a contrivance because he needed to be captured for the end of the show, so he couldn't. I don't know, because they wanted him split up from Daredevil. Yeah. Because for reasons, I think supposedly there's a Punisher movie special coming.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I tell you what, John Bernthal, like I think he did great as the.
I thought he did. Yeah, I thought he did a really good job. I actually liked the scene where he was captured, and because I knew where it was going. Like, I love the fact that he called all these dudes that were posing with the Punisher logo, like clowns.
Exactly.
I love. There's a lot of meta in that as well. That he was just like, you guys admire me. What? You guys are a bunch of clowns, I mean, just playing dress up or whatever.
Yeah, that's
thinking you're cool and stuff with your t-shirts and your tats or whatever.
And I tell you what, I mean, I know this is a show, but that character can take a hit.
Yeah, again, how did Daredevil? The dude got shot with a high-powered. Yes. He's not he's a superhero, but only in the fact that he can has radar sense. He's not. Yeah. He's not Luke Cage. He got a high-powered rifle bullet through him. I don't know. Every once in a while I just go, oh, that kind of hurts. I'm like, look, no, this kind of hurts when I get out of bed in the morning. Yes. It's not what it's going to feel like when I get a high-powered rifle shot through me if I live through it. But he's back in action within an hour after waking up or whatever. So, and then we had I know we're nitpicking on this show, guys, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, we still loved it, but there's some storytelling things at the end where I think, because then there's the mystery grenade. Who threw the mystery grenade?
Yeah.
And was this the greatest grenade ever? That thing was like that wasn't a grenade going off. That was a bomb. It was a bomb going off. So I don't know if the Punisher movie will tell us who threw the mystery grenade or whether that's a thing. But they were all dead in the room. Like, I don't know who threw this.
Yeah, because you get the first explosion, and then they land wherever they landed.
Yeah.
And then you get another explosion.
Right, exactly. So was Matt storing chemicals in that?
I mean, it had to have been something.
So that was pretty funny. So
and two, Cole had mentioned, he was like, you took out a bunch of my guys. I'm like, how is there anybody left of this task force?
Yeah. Someone else mentioned at the beginning he when he gathered the task force, it looked like there was about 12 dudes
that's
or something.
That's what I was led to believe.
I'm pretty sure most of those 12 were dead in that apartment, or at least 6 or 7 of them. But then they go back to the thing, and the whole dock is filled with dudes wearing Punisher t-shirts or whatever. So
I guess you can just be led to believe that Wilson Fisk really kind of got to most of the. New York City's police department. But then, this whole season we get the commissioner's kind of, he's definitely against Wilson Fisk.
Yes.
So
he knows exactly what's up.
Yeah. So it's not till the very end where it was just like, wow, he's like, Wilson Fisk was like, I'm done with you. Like, we're done here, and I want to take you out in the most brutalist way.
That was by far, I don't know whether that was Disney saying, hey, you want rated R Daredevil, we'll give you rated R Daredevil, I guess. I mean, that was and it held on it. It didn't just cut away at the last second where you get a glimpse of it. It was like, sound, not only did we do it, but we're going to frame the camera on this cool piece of makeup effect or whatever. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah. I don't think in anything Marvel, I don't think we've gotten anything like that.
No.
Not that brutal. It'll be I know they said season 2 is supposed to come out March of next year.
That makes sense.
So,
I think they just started filming it. So.
Yeah. So I'll be really curious to see what happens with, Vincent D'Onofrio. I think he's he's 65, and I'm like, man, in the comics, did he have something to do with, the next 2 Avengers movies, or no?
No,
I
doubt it.
He didn't.
I doubt it. No, I doubt it. No,
because I was curious. Because if
I'm under the impression that this show is simply leading us to where he was when he cameoed in She-Hulk, when he's in the red and gold.
That's true.
So I feel like this is still all prequel stuff, especially because we have that swordsman cameo.
Yeah,
which is probably the only character. Is there any other characters from other shows that show up there in cameos? That was the only one.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was captured too.
I thought for sure, we're getting close on time, but I thought for sure that when the commissioner got into the car to get driven to his meeting with Fisk, and he goes, "Oh, it's you, Luke. I haven't seen you." I thought that was Luke Cage.
Yes, so did I.
I was like, "Oh, cool, Luke Cage is it? Why is he driving the limo?" I don't know. I thought maybe he was going to save the commissioner because he knew that he was in danger. Like they seem to be promising at the end of this that there's going to be a rebellion and stuff, which means are we going to get Luke Cage? Are we going to get Iron Fist? Are we going to get any of these other heroes in New York City? Because they kept referencing vigilantes, but we never see any vigilantes. It was weird that they want to stop all the vigilantes, but Daredevil wasn't out doing vigilante stuff.
Right.
White Tiger was dead. So I'm assuming he's referring to people like Luke Cage, the Swordsman, Spider-Man, Jessica Jones, I guess, even though she's more of a private eye, not a vigilante.
That's true.
Iron Fist, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so...
I thought maybe we would have gotten, like, at the very end, or if there was, like, the after-credit scene where we would see, like, who's going to be coming, who's next,
well, I mean, they walked past all those cages, but again, the only person I saw was Swordsman was locked up, and of course the Punisher's locked up for... If you missed it, there was an after-credit scene at the end, so go back and watch that. Maybe the dumbest guard ever in the history of guard movies, maybe.
Like, why?
Has this guy never seen a James Bond movie or any... I don't know.
Right. And he's on the task force, so you think that...
I don't know. I don't know. I can't... I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, obviously, but it's just like, you just kind of want to slap that guard. It's like, well, you deserve everything you
Honestly,
got.
you do. Like, especially when you're going to shake his hand. I'm like, what did you expect him to do? I mean, you're on this task force, and that's what I'm led to believe, though, too, where it's just like, Wilson Fisk has, like, most of the freaking NYPD, like, on his task force now, maybe, and then you get these, he's
just a beat cop or whatever. So all right, well, I think we've done enough. So even though I personally had some issues with some of the storytelling towards the end, I did like the show. I enjoyed it. I think they did a good job of coming back from where that was and giving us a true new thing. Like if anyone was worried about Disney screwing it up or anything, I think that's totally out the window. I think they let they do what they want to do, and I mean, they're building up to something. We'll see what happens next year. So,
definitely worth a rewatch, too. So,
I said, I got to go back and watch all the cool action scenes.
Exactly.
So hopefully there'll just be a YouTube cut of all of it. So.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks, James.
Thanks,
good
Mike.
talking to you about this. I like to get that stuff out because, it's like it purges me of it.
It builds
all.
up.
So,
and it's just...
in a good way. I don't like to just rag for ragging.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and let us know your comments. What did you think? Did you have a favorite character, favorite scene? What did you not like or like? Let us know in the comments. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.